Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. All right, you guys, we're here today to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Look, I'm on time. Well, kind of, sort of. I'm just on the next day, but on time, pretty much. How about that? If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. It is not a huge deal to you, just a click of a button, but it's a huge deal to me. So go ahead and like the video. It does wonders for my analytics. Comment, let's talk about some stuff, and let's get started. So basically, it starts off where it left off, which was Drew having a meltdown and crying and going outside and everything. And we have Sonya, because Sonya always chase everybody with her nosy ass. Go sit down, Sonya. Fuck out of here. Um, Sorry, y'all. That was a lot. But I don't like Sonya, which y'all know. So Sonya's there, Kenya's there, and Sheree is there. And so Sheree is, trying to ask her what's happening. And she's crying, going on this whole thing about the lawsuit being a big deal. And she's never been sued before. And y'all, last week, I feel sorry for her. I ain't gonna lie. But this week, it's like, girl, it's $1,000. Pay the goddamn money or just go to court. She ended up winning, y'all. Bottom line, she ended up winning. She didn't have to pay or whatever. But why are you crying over $1,000 lawsuit? Are you freaking kidding me? Like, she's boohoo crying for real, for real. This is my whole entire family. No, it's $1,000. So calm down. But Sheree is trying to talk to her, and she's going on this whole thing of, Sheree, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, Sheree. I don't want to talk to you. And Sheree is trying to be nice. She's like, listen, let me have a moment with her. Let me talk, and y'all go back in. And as they're turning around or whatever, what's her name? Drew gets up and she's like, this bitch. But she didn't get it all the way out, but that's what she was finna say. And Sheree said, hold on, excuse me, what? Like, excuse me, what? And she's like, I'm just saying, it's very serious to me or whatever. And Sheree's like, I'm trying to talk to you. You trying to have a moment though, so that's fine. Like, she really was. I don't know. I don't feel like she was acting, because she had real tears. And we know that, she's not that great of an actress. But yeah, so Sheree ends up going in, like, in the confessional, and she's saying stuff about Drew. Like, listen, every time she heard something about me, she said something. So best believe I'm gonna say something to you every time I hear it, bitch. And I was like, dang, okay. So this probably ain't going nowhere. And just to let y'all know, like, I didn't see this part, so I am like watching it with y'all at this point. Y'all, these ladies are so phony. Oh my God, they're so phony. Like, they're in the confessional talking shit about her. Like, Candy is like, oh, I've seen Drew have a billion arguments that were worse than this, and I just feel like we're in a movie and scene. Like, oh, she's really doing a whole lot. Okay. Then we have Sheree talking about, yeah, she's doing a lot or whatever. But the only smart one was Kenya in the confessional, who said all this going on gotta have something to do with Ralph. And that just makes all of the sense. Like, honestly, it's not just this freaking lawsuit for $1,000. Because Sheree's like, you don't have $1,000? Which is what I just said. So I feel her on that. But like, this reaction is more than just that $1,000. So don't just make it out to be that. I mean, I guess she don't want to tell her business, so I understand that, but it's not just that. Like, she definitely has some more going on. And kudos to Kenya for realizing that, being the only one to realize that. All right, y'all. So I call them phony because in the confessional, they're clowning her. However, in her face, they're so, oh my God, I didn't know it was this bad. Oh my God, this is bad. Kenya's dumbass. Like, Kenya's the only one keeping it real, y'all. She said, listen, how many of us on this trip? They said 8. She said, listen, we can divide it. How much is 1,000 divided by 8? We can go ahead and take care of this. And Drew was like, it's not about the money. And she's like, yeah, but whatever will make your stress go away. Let us just take care of it and pay the $1,000. No, we've already paid her money. It's stuff that you don't know about. Okay, fine. So they all end up going in. She ends up having a moment with Sheree, and they squash it. Sheree is super, super phony because she's doing all this, oh my God, where she's holding her heart and she just really cares. However, in the confessional, she's clowning the shit out of Drew. She don't care about you, Drew. Y'all not friends. And Drew in the confessional talking about, well, a true friend would care. She's not your friend. You know she's not your friend. Like, what are you talking about? So they end up hugging it out. It's fine. When Sonya and Kenya get back to the table, Marlo is like, listen, can I just pay the $1,000 and get it over with? And they're like, it's not about the money. So Sonya's trying to explain. Yeah. One thing I can say, Sonya is doing better with her dressing and everything this year. I love that blue nail polish that she has on. I love it. I had it before. It's kind of bluish, purplish, or whatever. So cute. However, as soon as you get it, it starts coming away from the cuticle. Like you can see right away that it looks like you need a fill in like the day after. I hate that shit. But the polish itself, so cute. Um and I just digress for no good reason about some nail polish. But the table, well, Marlo told them what Candy said because they were like, "Where Candy? She's in the bathroom." But as soon as Drew left, she was like, "And scene or cut or whatever." So of course we knew from that was gonna come back up, which it is. Now that part I saw, it's gonna come back up later. Oh, but in the confessional, the producer asked Drew, "Listen, is there more going on that you're not telling the ladies?" And I'm like, "Of course there is." So she then comes clean that yes, Ralph was emailing the manager. It was around this time last year. He was emailing the manager. And when she had her video shoot, this lady producer was oiling him down. And I'm like, girl, all you had to do was be like, unhand him. Like, I swear, I wish the fuck I would stand there and let somebody oil my man down while I'm there. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, no, it's not okay. Even though yeah, I don't think he's not unattractive. Ralph isn't unattractive, but the way everybody goes on and on about how cute Ralph is with that head shape and all that, not to mention he's just an ass. Like he can't look good to me because he's an asshole. But the fact that she stood there and let this lady oil him down, that's your fault, sis. That's your fault. And then she says, and she, she's a producer on this thing in Vegas. So now he's in Vegas and I just don't trust him. As you shouldn't. Like you just gave him the okay to go strip. You literally just gave him the okay to go with this manager. I mean, this producer who was oiling him down and let him try out to be a stripper in Vegas. She's a dumbass. She is. And so whatever happens needs to happen. They get a divorce. Do y'all really think they get a divorce? Because I don't know if I believe that, but I don't really care enough to really care. But I don't know. I just think, can Drew be this stupid for real? Like for real. She let him get away with absolutely everything. It's too much. Yeah, so as we're talking or whatever, Sonya, I just want to say to the group that I just feel like when one person is talking, that the other person should allow the person to talk. Like, what is she talking about? And I was so happy when Kenya said, she's like, that's just my 2 cents. And Kenya said, I'm sure there's a jar somewhere where you could place that 2 cents. And when I tell you I died because I felt the same way. Fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about, Sonya? You shouldn't even be here. And Sonya's like, I just put it right here. And then Kenya says, well, I like Sonya. She know I'm just playing with her. She don't like you and she not just playing with you at all. Like at all. So then Sheree brings up the fact that Candy's never around and Kenya said something about it. Sheree is always throwing people under the bus. It's crazy. But she did, go along with it. Like, yeah, you're not ever here with us and your friends, and they're not her friends for real. Like y'all co-workers for real, for real, for real. And Candy goes on this thing about she feels like she's just trying, like they're a startup group and all that. I guess because the one girl is gone and girl, what's her name? Manetta, whatever her name is. Neo's ex or whatever was like, you're an inspiration, Candy. And I'm like, girl, calm down. Just calm down. And they're telling her that she can rest or whatever. And then Marlo has the nerve to say, Candy, whatever you do, just take care of you, Candy, because you work your butt off. And I was so happy that Candy just really didn't give it any energy in terms of Marlo is, I'm not going to say bipolar and make fun of bipolar people but I don't know, y'all. It's hard to tell if Marlo be acting too. Even though she was talking about Drew, and you can't tell if Drew is acting, it's hard to tell if Marlo is acting because I just feel like she be doing shit for shock value on the show, but she really is a decent person. Like if you think about it, when Marlo has those little moments where she care, like when they first got there and she told Candy because her stomach was messed up, you should just take the carrot shot or what, like don't take alcohol. Like I feel like she could be a decent person and she probably is, but she's trying so hard to make good TV that she's coming off like an asshole. And yeah, so Candy did not, she's just like, yeah, I ain't got time for self care. I get it. And I was happy that she kind of played her off because no, ma'am, don't use me and being mean to me for camera time. Don't do it. And then 1 minute you're nice and the next minute you're not. So yeah, I was with Candy on that one. Yeah, can we talk about in this next scene when all the ladies are coming downstairs and Marlo comes down and she says that what's her name? Sonya is coming down. She's like, she had on jeans. I told her to go put the skirt back on. And in the confessional, she's like, yeah, I couldn't have her out here looking like Billie Jean, like Drew. And she said she got Jean on Jean violence going on over there. And it was too much Jean. Drew, mm-mm. And then Sonya comes down. Y'all, why did Sonya have a stylist there, like doing her hair, and then she come down and her hair like shit, like her hair like shit. She had it in a ponytail and it was flying away. It was terrible. And she ended up bringing the dress down or whatever, and she said she gonna change in the car. And I'm like, you let Marlo tell you what to do? You do? Okay. Okay, y'all. So everybody's getting on the bus or whatever, and Kenya is running really late. She ends up coming out. It's raining. She comes out. She has on slippers, and I guess she has her gym shoes or whatever in the bag. She ends up falling. First of all, it took forever for anybody to come and help her. Like, she's like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, nobody's helping her. And then you see the girls on the bus. They see her fall. Candy, who's supposed to be the closest to her there, yeah, I mean, right? I'm not crazy that Candy is supposed to be the closest to her there. She did not move. She didn't fucking move. Sheree ends up getting up first to go and help her. And yeah, I was very disappointed in Candy in that. And then when they said they were going to take her to the hospital and she's like, oh, Candy will come with me. And Candy looked irritated at the fact that she had to go. And I was just like, Candy is a shitty person, y'all. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like Candy. I know a lot of people like Candy. But after that whole thing with SWV and then seeing her on the speak on it thing or whatever, Candy comes off as a shitty person. She just does. Like, she's very selfish. But I guess she ends up going. We'll see later. So then we have Drew and her cousin. What is that broad's name? Oh my God. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Courtney. Is that her name, Courtney? And she's like, oh, yeah, because, the world, God has a way of making people pay and karma and all that. And I'm like, what? And even Drew was like, you think it was karma? I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, this is the second time that, she's being wheeled out on a stretcher. Yeah, and it's something very dramatic. Like, it's just a lot going on. And yeah, I wasn't too happy with that. What's her name? Drew wasn't happy with that comment. So she's in the confessional like, yeah, that karma statement wasn't really going right for me. And I'm like, oh, you finna throw cousin under the bus later. We already know, right? Again, I haven't seen all of this show, so I don't know if Drew brings it up later or not, but I can guarantee at some point it's going to come back up. So Courtney's in the confessional saying that, yeah, King is a mean girl. And so, karma. And why is she here? She's like Drew. Like, why are they here? Honestly, why would we have to listen to her? Why does she have a confessional? Why is she on the TV screen? Like, she gives nothing. She's no one. And speaking of no one, can we talk about Manetta and that hair and the fact that I said last time I liked the hair on her when she had it all down? It was cute. However, she got this curly mess and she got it like pent up in the middle and like just an old lady style. It doesn't look good. I don't like the wig on her anymore. Like you've managed to mess it up. She managed to mess that wig up, y'all. All right, let's go on. All right, so they end up going to the market and it's a bunch of nothing. But Candy calls from the hospital and she's upset that she's there basically and saying how they're waiting. And when she gets off, Marlo is like, Candy just blends into the wall like everybody else. Like, there's no way I would be waiting. And I'm like, Marlo, people don't even know you. Like, I get what she's saying about Candy, but people don't even know you. So what are you talking about? And Sheree is, no, not Sheree, Drew is like she's agreeing with Marlo and being a little shady to Candy. So I'm going to allow the whole and scene thing that Candy did to Drew, because apparently, they just doing fun shade, right? So Drew was definitely shading her back at this moment. And I don't even think at this moment she knew about her saying, that Drew was acting. So yeah, these so phony. These ladies don't like each other at all. Oh, but how about Marlo in the confessional eating catfish, talking about how it's the dirtiest fish in the sea? And the lady was like, "Isn't that catfish that you're eating?" And she's like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, it's good. You want some?" And then the lady said, "No, thank you." And she's like, "Oh, you don't like catfish?" Yes, catfish is so dirty, y'all. It's so good though, but it is. It's dirty. All right, y'all. So we had a couple scenes that don't really matter. So they're talking about, they're sitting at lunch or whatever, and they're talking about, I think Manetta said to Marlo that she was, taken aback by the way that she was all like, "Oh my God, I know him. I went on a date with him." And she's like, "Well," she turned the phone around and she's like, "Listen, if I turn this phone around right now and was like, oh, look at Ralph," and Sonya's like, "Don't use Ralph. Don't use Ralph." But her point is, she was surprised to see him, so she just said that she knew him, whatever. Um, and then Maniella's like, "Yeah, but you went to the DMs and all that or whatever." So in the confessional, Sheree is like, "Manietta, get your head out her ass. Like, please, quit kissing her." And I'm like, "Sheree, is your head not all up in Marlo's ass? Like, are you not the same as Sonya? She's not as bad as Sonya this season, but Sheree's head is all up Manya. God, what is her name? Marlo's, yeah, and I'm not cutting it out. I'm sorry. I'm just too tired to go back and redo that. I messed up names. It's fine. Sheree's head is all up Marlo's ass still. So for her to be calling somebody an ass kisser, really? Oh yeah, and then the other thing was Martell called. We don't give a shit. We don't care. We don't believe you. You need more people. Like, we don't. He's all on the phone. She's like, "Oh, it's Martell," and I'm like, "Girl, we're over it. We don't believe this whole storyline. You could be done now. Calm down." She has him on speaker, and he's all like, "Oh, think about me," and it's all just so phony, y'all. I feel like Sheree should be put off of this show because she is like insulting our intelligence. And remember when back in the day when Kenya paid that guy Walter or whatever to be her mate, and that was like the first time we ever knew that somebody was really really lying on the show, and now it just seems like the thing to do, like it's not a big deal. I don't like it. But yeah, so we don't care about Martell. We bypassing that, y'all. All right, so then we have a scene at the table where they end up telling Drew about the comment that Candy made about Anne scene, like she was out there acting or whatever. And some kind of way, Drew just turned it back to Sheree. Excuse me. And Sheree is like, "We're not even talking about me right now. We're talking about Candy." But she turns it back around. And then in the confessional, Sonya's like, "Yeah, Candy is like Teflon Don. So she don't really want to say nothing about Candy." And I get it. And to me, I feel like that just shows that Sonya really was trying to come for her. Her and Marlo and Sheree was trying to come for Candy last season, and it just didn't work. So now she's calling her Teflon Don. Can we get rid of Sonya? I mean, really, she be telling on her own stupid self. But again, what's her name? Drew just didn't really say anything about the fact, that Candy was kind of clowning her. But also, again, Drew was kind of clowning Candy when Marlo was clowning. She was joining in on that. So I'm gonna allow it. I'm gonna allow what Candy said. That's fine. This is just what these ladies do. All right, so next they're painting, and we're sitting around painting, talking about how good everything feels because Candy and Kenya aren't here. And what's so shady is that the producers do this whole montage of Candy going crazy and Kenya going crazy. And while I thought that was really, really shady, I mean, it's the truth. It's what they did. But, Marlo is like, "Oh, the air smells different without them. Everything is just calm without them." I think it probably is. They don't have attitudes because all the rest of these women have no backbone. So, yeah, nobody's going to say anything to anyone at this table. So, these are the only two people. These are they're not OGs, especially, but you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the oldest ones there, the original, the people that's been there. So, yeah, they know how to play the game. They're going to come and they're not going to let you just get your shit off whereas all these other people at the table, straight no backbone, like ass kissers. So yeah, all the ass kissers get along. That's great. All right, y'all. So apparently it is Kenya's last day. Not Kenya, Candy's last day. So Sheree wants to have a pajama party. And she's ordering food up when all the ladies come in. And Candy comes in. And Sheree says, "Oh, Candy is coming in looking like Cleo from Set It Off." And she did. That's what's so funny. She did. Them braids. Why are you? I mean, I know that's in, and you can kind of get away with wearing those braids. I just don't feel like Candy can get away with wearing those braids. I don't know, but she's talking about her wardrobe, and I told y'all if it's one thing Candy gonna do, she gonna be comfortable. She's gonna wear some real. You said pajamas? Oh, she's wearing some real pajamas. She's not wearing all this lacy stuff and silky stuff because there's no men here. So why am I doing that? My husband's not here. She's gonna wear some comfortable crap. Like, don't tell Candy to get comfortable. So they're asking for Kenya, and I don't even know if Kenya came. I can't remember, but I feel like Kenya's not coming to this. Like, when Kenya is done with what she is obligated to do, I don't know if maybe they're not obligated to do this after hours situation, but Kenya don't be fooling with them that long. So I didn't feel like she was coming. And again, I can't remember if she comes or not, but I'm not surprised she's not there yet. All right, so we have a moment where Drew is confronting Candy about, saying something, and she said it very nicely. She said, "Listen, you just gonna sum me up like that? Like, I don't have enough acting jobs?" And I'm like, do you? Like, do you? But okay, Candy took it on the chin. She said, "I think everybody's just really sensitive now, but all right, if I hurt your feelings, sorry." Because Drew was like, "Listen, this is my first time really being vulnerable with this group, and this is how you do me." So yeah, she gives her a phony ass apology, and we move on. All right, so then we have this whole "I support you, you don't support me" moment where Sheree is like, "I ain't see none of y'all names on my stuff as, buying something or whatever." And then Maneta's like, "I didn't see your name on my stuff." And everybody's like, "I didn't see your name on the archive. So she ends up having everybody kind of pull up the website and buy something. And she's like, "I shouldn't have to beg y'all to do anything." She tells Sonya, "Listen, I saw your website. I went on there. I gave $5,000." And Sonya's like, "I appreciate that." So in the confessional, she's like, I don't appreciate, this whole situation and how it's going because we have been trying to support Sheree. The site wasn't up. It wasn't working. So she even told Sheree, "I don't know. I can't put it in my cart." And Sheree's like, "Oh, these bitches acting like they don't know how to navigate a website now." Girl, wasn't working. It wasn't working at all because I went on it personally. The night that it launched or whatever, it did not work. And it wasn't down because you could see every other tab except shop. When you go to shop, you can't buy anything. So yeah, nothing was available, Sheree lying ass. So yeah, sure. Sonya is feeling away about the fact that she's saying they didn't support, and she's finally saying, "Yeah, the shit wasn't working," basically. All right, y'all. So now we wrapped up. Production wrapped up at 11:47, and an hour later, from Marlo's phone, she starts recording where they get into it, and there's a whole discussion about the whole Bolo situation and that night, and the fact that Drew, because they were showing us a little bit of what was going on in the room here tonight, and Drew was like humping all over what looks like Manetta or whatever. Like she's like all giving her a lap dance or whatever. And so I guess they had this conversation about Drew kissing Latoya. And she's like, "I did not kiss Latoya." And Candy is like, "Yes, you did," in her confessional. And then Drew is in the confessional saying, "I don't know where they got it from." And then the producer's like, "Yeah, Latoya said it at the reunion." Like, yeah, from the horse's mouth. She literally said y'all were kissing at the reunion. And she's like, "Oh, Latoya said Candy told her." And I'm just like, we all know Drew's a liar, right? Right. We know, right? All right, y'all. So we definitely wrap it up with this big blow up about if Drew kissed her or not. And Candy is standing up and she's making a scene about how she can't unsee what she saw and she's not making anything up and she's not a liar. And like she's going off. I don't understand Candy this season with the whole going from 0 to a billion like in no time flat. Like, girl, sit down. Like, what are you screaming about? She's screaming, and I don't know. I just feel like it was a little ridiculous. But Drew is a liar, and I'm sure that can be infuriating. However, everybody knows she's a liar because Marlo in the confessional, they asked her, did Drew kiss Latoya? And she's like, 80% of me says yes. And they're like, why only 80? And she's like, shit. Drew is such a liar. She has me confused. Like, she's a liar and an actor. I don't know if she really did it or not because she kind of convincing me. Drew kissed that girl. It's fine. So then we get scenes of what's to come and, in the next few months or whatever. And then, of course, there's this big thing about Drew having an affair with the lesbian Ty, the basketball player or whatever, Mimi's girlfriend. So, and then in the confessional, when they're asking Drew about Ty, she starts bawling. So, yeah, Drew got some shit going on. She really does. But outside of that, she's just a liar. Like, I could not hang out with Drew at all because she will lie and she will look convincing. Like, when she lie and she be like, nah, she make the whole face like, what are you talking about? Like, that shit can be convincing. It really can. But that was it, you guys. That was the episode. Wasn't bad, wasn't great. It just was what it was. But I guess it was entertaining. It was fine. So let me know what you thought about it. Like the video, you guys. And again, if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you. If you have stayed to the end, you are the real MVP. Thank you very much. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Smooches.